Hello everyone, I am Karpagam, Assistant Professor from Tech High Tech Technology and Sandala Engineering College, going to present a small video lecture on Process Engineering Economics subject, topic Capital Budgeting. In Capital Budgeting technique or Project Profitability Analysis, we are going to see mainly four topics: net present value, internal rate of return, profitability index, payback period. These are the criteria followed when considering the capital budget techniques, whether you should invest in project A or project B. We will consider the following criteria, that is net present value, internal rate of return, profitability index and the payback period. These are the investment decisions which can be generally called as capital budgeting decisions. In this slide, cash flows and discounted cash flows, non-discounted cash flows is given. Further, discounted cash flow is nothing but the opportunity cost. In this, it is the lost opportunity on the capital that is being invested in the project. It is the lost opportunity on the capital that is being invested in this project. Other names are opportunity cost of capital or cost of capital. Now consider if an organization earns 10% interest per annum on its investment, that is capital, by putting the money in a bank instead of investing in the project. What is the opportunity cost? In this, interest rate, that is 10% interest per annum, is the opportunity cost of capital, because it is the minimum organization that have earned if invested in the bank. Non-discounted cash flow. Non-discounted cash flow, if we consider this, we will not consider interest rate, opportunity cost or discounted cash. These are not taken into consideration. Consideration for capital budgeting. Let us take discounted cash flow and non-discounted cash flow. If we consider discounted cash flow, these three, that is net present value, internal rate of return, profitability index, are considered. Non-discounted cash flow is the payback period, which is usually calculated considering the non-discounted cash flow. Time value of money is considered. In this, money grows over a time when it earns interest. A dollar sitting in your wallet today is more worth than the tomorrow money, tomorrow value. Okay, a dollar in your wallet today is more worth than the same dollar tomorrow. There may be a depreciation because the money grows over a time, it earns interest. So it gives the concept of the present value of money and the future value of money. Relationship between present value and future value is given, which means future value is equal to present value into 1 plus k the whole power n. Future value is given as FV, PV is given as present value, K is interest rate, that is discount rate percentage, N is number. Relationship between future value and present value is given in this slide. We can see one example for the future value calculation. If we invest $100 in a bank today, it may earn 8% per year. What is the future value of $100 for the first year and the fifth year and the 15th year? We must to calculate the first year and fifth year and 15th year. They have given that the 8%. So 8% means 8 by 100, that is 0.08%. Okay, 8% means 0.08, which means the k value is 0.08. N is, we have to calculate for the 3 years, that is first year and the fifth year and the 15th year. And the $100 is invested in a bank, which is the present value they have given. So present value is given into 1 plus k the whole power n, which is 1 plus k value is 0.08. The whole power n is for the first year and this fifth year and also the 15th year is calculated. So they have the value $108, $146 and $317. Okay, calculate the present value. We have to now calculate the present value. Already we see the future value calculation. Now we have to see the present value. Going to see the present value. In this question, they have given that they have received after first year. So the future value is given in this question. We have to calculate the present value of the future value. That is, we have given the n and the future value is also given. Now we have to calculate the present value, and the discounted rate is also given as 8% per year. So formula is given, present value is equal to future value divided by 1 plus k the whole power n. If we consider the k value 8%, 8 by 100, that is 0.08. 1 plus k the whole power n, no. So 1 plus k they have already given. So 1 plus 0.08 is here, and future value is they are already given that 100, 100, 100 for first year, 5th year, 15th year. Now we have to calculate the present value, which is future value divided by 1 plus k the whole power n. First year, 5th year, 15th year. So we are calculating this value. These are the values today. That is the present value. Currently they have these values 93, 68, 32. After that they have the future value is 100. So we have calculated the present value of this question. Here we consider the net present value, which is the how much amount of present value all cash inflow minus present value of cash outflow. Example, if we consider the salary slip, net salary is given as the gross salary minus how much amount of money is deducted for some purpose, for considering if you go by transport they will reduce the transport charge, and some of the reduction will be there, and they may give, they may deduct from for PF, like that. So similarly the present value is of cash inflow is the gross present value, and if you deduct the cash outflow, if it becomes your net present value. So cash inflow minus cash outflow. Some criteria is there when we consider this NPV. NPV should be positive, means we can accept the project, that is greater than 0. If it less than 0 is, we can reject the project. Some cases it may be accepted or rejected based on the considering the non-tangible benefits. The value becomes 0. So better the value of NPV is greater. We can see one example for this. A sum of $4 lakh is invested in an IT project. Given a series of cash inflow, they have given the cash inflows, for the 5 years, and the opportunity cost is also given 8% per annum. Whether to accept the project or reject the project is the question. We have to, these are the procedures. First we have to calculate the present value for the each years and sum up of all these years, and the net present value is cash inflow minus cash outflow. If the value comes the positive, we can accept the project. If it is negative, we can reject the project. So in this sum we are getting the positive value. Okay, I said we have to calculate for the each years, and each year we have to calculate the present value and sum up all those, and then already in question they have given the outflow, that is 4 lakh. So present inflow minus present value of cash inflow minus cash outflow is given. We get $8959. So it is positive, we can accept the project. Another we can see, this is example for NPV. If we consider this as an example, here we calculate the NPV value with the higher discount rate 15%. The same question, but we are considering the opportunity cost as 15%. If we consider this as 15% per annum, what we get? We are getting the negative value. So if it depends on the interest rate also. So if we consider in this, the present value of cash inflow is less. and the present value of cash outflow is already given in the question, that is 4 lakh. If we minus those, we get a negative value. We have to reject the project now. See, this is the note condition. Though we have the same inflow and outflow cash flow as in the previous example, NPV value changed with the change in the discount rate. So it depends on the discount rate. So NPV value changes with the change in the discount rate. So mainly the NPV value is depending on the discount rate. Internal rate of its return is considered here. In simple, we can say it is the percentage of return of your investment. How we will calculate this? We can calculate based on the NPV value. If you remember the previous example, we can easily get into this. It is mentioned that the NPV is dependent on the discount rate. If we increase the discount rate, the NPV value decreases. We need to increase or decrease the NPV value so that the value of NPV becomes 0. So, in other words, we can say the internal rate of return is the opportunity cost at which the NPV becomes 0. These are the criterias whether to accept or reject or may accept or may not accept. If the value internal rate is high, we can accept the project which is higher than the discount rate, which is greater than the discount rate. We can reject the project if the value is less than. In this slide, relationship between internal rate of return, discount rate and NPV is given. NPV is always positive when internal rate of return is greater than the discount rate. NPV value is negative, internal rate of return is less than the discount rate. And the IRR is equal to discount rate, NPV is 0. As long as NPV is positive, the project is financially viable. If the value becomes negative, it is not acceptable. It is not financially viable. Now we can consider the problem. The cost of a project is $1,000. It has a time horizon of 5 years and the expected year-wise incremental cash flow is given year-wise, that is 200, 300. Likewise, compute the IRR. We have to calculate the IRR of the project. They have given the project capital cost is 12%. That is opportunity cost. Whether we can accept the project or reject the project is the question. Now we have to calculate by these steps. Take K value as 12%. So already is given in the question. Calculate the NPV value. If the value is less than 0, it is not viable. Is greater than 0, financially viable. Okay. This is the calculation done. This is the question. Now it is done in the Excel sheet. If we do in the Excel sheet, it is easy and we can do in normal calculation also. In Excel, if a value given is like this, K is discount rate given 12%. So K percent is 12 divided by 100. 1 plus K is 1 plus 0.12, that is K percent. Yeah, we have to use the IRR using variable discount rate. First, year wise is given a future value and 1 plus K the whole power n. Now we have to calculate the present value of those for each years and sum up of all those, that is the total cash inflow. So cash inflow minus cash outflow is the NPV value. Cost of a project is $1,000. We have already the outflow value. Now we have summing up of all those present value and cash inflow minus cash outflow is given. So we have the value of 169. Based on this value, we are considering whether to accept the project or reject the project. At the rate of 12%, NPV is 169, that is positive. If we change the interest rate, that is, if we increase the discount rate, the NPV value reduces, that is, becomes 0. We have to get nearer to 0. I have already told you that. And that value is taken as the internal rate of return. When it becomes 0, by changing the discount rate, that value is considered as internal rate of return. So here 17.7 is the answer. So since the internal rate of return is greater than the discount rate, we can accept the project. Next is profitability index. In this, one example is given. In this, we have to calculate the profitability index. Profitability index formula is, it is the ratio of those cash inflow by cash outflow. In this sum, they have invested 25,000 in a project. A series of cash inflow in future is given. So for 5 years they have given the cash inflows. Required return rate is 12% per annum. We have to calculate the value of profitability index. Now we have to consider the 12% discount rate. Similarly, the same procedure is followed for this, and then the formula is varying. There we calculate the NPV is cash inflow minus cash outflow. Here cash inflow divided by cash outflow. It is the ratio of dollar we spent. So we are calculating like this. So it is the greater than the 1. So we can accept the project. The value comes 1.07. So we can accept the project. Payback period is the number of years required to recover the cash outflow invested in the project. It is the time taken to recover the cash invested in a project. It is known as payback period. And in other words, the value must be shorter or less. It must be the shortest payback period. Then it is the valuable project. They can accept the project. In this, discounted cash flow is not considered. Okay. Payback period, if we consider payback period calculation, no discounted cash flow is considered. I have given one example for this payback period. A sum of 25,000 invested in an IT project is example. Cash inflow is given for 5 years. We have to calculate the payback period by non-discounted method. So we don't have here interest rate. So cash inflow for each year is given in this, and the cumulative cash flow is calculated for how much amount of time it takes to recover. That is the payback period. So if we consider the first year 5,000 and the second year is 9,000, cumulative is 14,000. And third year is 10,000 invested in project. So total cumulative is 24,000. In the question we have invested 25,000. So we have to look into that. So if we consider that one more 1,000 has to be added to this. For that we have to go for the next year and invested 10 years. That's the fourth year. If we consider this fourth year, and the fourth year value is 10,000. For a 1 year there are 12 months, so 10,000 divided by 12 we get this value. Okay, so when will we reach the 25,000? 24,000 plus 833 3. If we add this month per month and we get nearer to that 24,833, but we have to get 25,000. So it might get in 1 month or 2 months. So the value is payback period is in between 3 years 1 month and 3 years 2 months. These are the few tips to remember from the video. NPV, profitability index, internal rate of return, and the payback period. You have learnt the concept of capital budgeting technique in this lecture. I hope this lecture was useful. Thank you all. Thank you once again.